This is Kitzur Yomi as we begin a new Siman, Siman Chav Ches, which is the halachas of a Sefer Torah and other Seforim HaKadoshim. And the short Akdama over here of our article teaches us that in the previous Siman we spoke about the halachas of a Talmud Torah, Limud Torah. Now we discuss writing a Sefer Torah, and the real background to this is it reminds us that Bisman Chazal, of course, why did you write a Sefer Torah was to learn the Torah. And therefore, the Kitzur is going to teach us that other Seforim are going to be included in this, because nowadays we don't learn from a Sefer Torah, but we learn from other Seforim. So says the Kitzur, Mitzvah Aseh al Kol Yisrael. It is a positive commandment. Lichtov le Sefer Torah shenem arvata kitzur l'cham zashira zayis. V'kiblu chacham zechreinu levracha lichtov is kol ha-Torah. One has to write the entire Torah. Sheish ba'ashira, which contains the shira of Azinu. V'afilu yari Sefer Torah me'araviv. Let's say you got a Sefer Torah in Yerusha as an inheritance. Still, mitzvah of lichtov l'shayiv, a mitzvah to write your own. Sachar le Sefer, if someone commissions a Sefer, lichtov le Sefer Torah. If you buy a Sefer Torah, and had a problem in it, and you corrected it, if you wrote it anew. Limkar Sefer Torah, one is not allowed to sell a Sefer Torah if you mamish need the money, then yishalu shelas chacham. Now, and note number 2 over here points out, although he didn't really write the whole Sefer Torah, but because he either commissioned the Sefer Torah to write it, or he bought it and there was something wrong with it and he fixed it, then it's as if he wrote it. So that's the mitzvah aseh of lichtov lo Sefer Torah. It's a mitzvah to buy Seforim. Why? To learn from them. Kigad, Mikra, Mishnah, Gemara, Paiskim, Shilma Miteichen. He also shall lend them to others. If you can't afford it, look nicely to buy for himself. Sefer Torah, v'gam shar Sefer Limud. Both Sefer Torah and Seforim to learn. Which of course would teach us why nowadays people have many Seforim and not everyone has a Sefer Torah. I should say not even the majority. The reason is the Sefer Torah is extremely expensive, but we don't learn from a Sefer Torah nowadays. What does that mean that the righteousness is forever? This refers to someone that writes, and he lends them to other people. We continue with Sif Gimel. One has to give a lot of covet to Sefer Torah into the Yachal and Makam, give the Sefer Torah designated place. And to honor that place, to beautify it exceedingly. You cannot spit towards the Sefer Torah. You can't touch the cloth. You don't hold it without a cloth. You see the Sefer Torah being carried. The fun if you stand up until Sefer Torah reaches the place, or you don't see it. Based on when they take out the Sefer Torah from the Arai, whenever the Sefer Torah passes by you, we learned this already, to be melavit, to escort the Torah, they should escort it back. But again, it's important to point out that the halacha to stand is when the Sefer Torah is moving, not just when the Aron is open. It's a little bit of a mistake. The halacha is when the Sefer Torah is being carried. That's when one has to stand up. Afilu Shar Sefer Kodesh continues the Kitzur. Even other Seforim, if they're on a bench, you cannot sit on that bench. Less Seforim were placed. At least a davar on top of something has to be at least a tefach. So again, let's just realize another mistake. If you have a bench and you have Seforim there, and you have just a piece of paper underneath it, that doesn't allow it. It's still considered on the bench, and you cannot sit on that bench. Kolshkein the Aser, and certainly it is Aser laniach Seforim al gabi karka, to put them on the ground. Laniach adam sefer al berkov. Should not put a sefer on your knees. Ushnei yitzili yadav alav, and lean your elbows on it. Just disrespectful. But b'shas adchak mutaleshav al gabi tev. You let us sit in a teva. Sheish b'shar sefer kodesh. Aval mish b'sefer Torah Aser. Manichan chumashim. One should place a chumash like a neviim ksuvim. Chumash always goes on top. Ksuvim al gabi neviim. Uneviim al gabi ksuvim. Avlim manichan neviim ksuvim al gabi chumashim. So you got to remember, the chumash always goes on top of the rest of the nach, and the ksuvim should be on top of. Neviim and ksuvim are allowed to be on top of each other, but the chumash should always be on top. Sifhei, Sefer Torah Shabalo, Sefer Torah that becomes worn out. Guidance in us how we bury it. Tchin Shar Seforim is Sefer Kodesh. Tashmisha Kedusha. Also L'Sarfa, we do not burn them. Sivav, Ein Sargin Sefer Torah, we do not throw Sefer Kodesh. You're not allowed to turn the face down. We find the face down, you should flip them over. Again, kavod. These are holy articles. We don't just leave them upside down. In lahashtamayim of nesarim, what should I urinate in the presence of a Sefer Torah? Svarim ulisat tzarech al kolpanim yenimachim gavayim asar tfachim. If they are 10 tefachim tall, again, not really relevant in our world. This will be more relevant in a world without bathrooms, etc. Ein lasais mapos milas covers or garments ledavar shebekdusha for a holy article midavar shenishtamish boyhadi, something that was used for a mundane purpose. You don't take something and use it for a sefer. But you have it. If you already did it, now it's mutter. If a guy used it for idols, I feel with the evet, it is also to use that cover now for sefer kodesh. Also, you're not allowed to use a sefer lanas of your own benefit. To stand it up, the sun's coming in, so you want to put a sefer in the window to block it. You're not allowed to do that. Or to prevent someone from seeing what you're doing. If the sun is on the sefer you're learning, then you're allowed to use another sefer to block it. Why? You're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the limud. And this is a big machlekes, Magen Avraham and Taz, whether you're allowed to use Seforim to benefit Torah. And the Kitzur baskins that the answer is yes. Put Seforim and put your sefer you're learning on top of it. Is going to be allowed. Sefer inside another sefer as a bookmark. So you don't have to look for it. Don't use a sefer as a bookmark. And the reason over here is it says no 23. It's just making it easier at a later date, but it's not actually making the actual learning easier. Lo yisartate eze kuntres. You should not etch lines on a notebook al a sefer while it's resting on a sefer. Fishen kedusha kuntres no kedusha yad shechtavu bay. You should not put paper into a sefer lemishmeres. You don't leave it there. The reason being is because why are you using the sefer as your folder? Again, there are those that are makel if it's going to be a matziv that's going to enable Torah, etc. Hama'abe kisvei kodesh, one who destroys kisvei kodesh, over the lav losasun kein lashem lekechem. Shilimchos bekarchis farim. One should object to the bookbinder shemedavkin b'toich haluchais. They paste into the covers kisvei kodesh. Kam shichel nizar me'oid kishnois farim kedusha yishanim. We're giving old farim leuman akum to non-Jewish uman lekarcham mechadish to bind them. Take the old covers, to hide them, because the guy might take your worn out thing and repurpose it elsewhere. So we have to be careful that even when the sefer is finished, to dispose of it, to bury it properly. Pick up from here, B'siyata Dishmaya.